Good evening. I'm so happy you guys came here to join me as I prepare to speak to you about a person I admire. We are required to do a speech for our speech class, and it's over interpersonal relationships. Interpersonal relationships are very important because these are relationships we have with all humans we come into contact with. Based on how we interact with them will be whether we have a really good interpersonal relationship with them or a really negative one. The person I admire the most is my Aunt Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Growing up, my Aunt Sandy is one of my closest relatives on my father's side. We spent a lot of time going there, weekends, holidays, road trips, vacations. My Aunt Sandy was always there. I felt that she is a great example of how interpersonal relationships should function. My Aunt Sandy is my father's only sister. So when interacting with her, I always enjoyed the opportunity to sit by her and viewing her communicate with our other family members. Something I automatically noticed is that anytime she spoke, everyone would stop and listen. She commanded respect, and she did it with her silence. And then when she broke her silence, the room would just follow her. Another thing that I loved about my Aunt Sandy is that she never had to raise her voice. And being able to communicate with someone without showing emotion or bias is very important. My Aunt Sandy is a kind and loving woman. She's an introvert with spunk. My first interaction with her, usually at a family function, she would be sitting alone, and I would come join her, and we would start immediately on a conversation about baked goods that she prepared. In that conversation, I would ask her how she did it, what it tastes like, how long it take her to cook, why she keep cooking good stuff. And we would just kind of banter back and forth. This is an example of her actively listening to me. During active listening, it is important to show the person by making eye contact that you are paying attention to what they're showing or saying. The facial expressions are important, and also just showing empathy if something is very concerning or tough to talk about. Getting back to the story, weeks later, my Aunt Sandy then showed up to my house with a recipe and all the ingredients I needed to create the baked goods. Why? It's because we were at the Thanksgiving meal. Another example of my aunt's interpersonal communication is when we went on vacation. We got the opportunity to go to Atlanta, and she let me drive the car. I was not supposed to be driving the car because I wasn't on the insurance, but she communicated that with me. She said, "Evie, I'm trusting you to drive this vehicle because I'm tired. So please do your best and get us home safely." She trusted me. I understood the importance of why it was important for me to be safe while we were driving, and I got to spend the last 3 hours of our trip driving home. So that is just another example of her interpersonal communication. Throughout our years in our friendship or sistership or just my relationship with my aunt, as I've grown into an adult, I appreciate all the knowledge she's had and she's shared with me. My Aunt Sandy is a very private person, so I'm not going to go into detail about what her profession was, but she always made sure that she instilled in us that we were safe with her. And I feel that me and my other siblings always felt a certain comfort with her. I feel like, especially with our readings with interpersonal relationships, that is very important. How comfortable you feel with someone. And that is my Aunt Sandy. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have an amazing evening.